coach. How you doing? Do you ever find yourself in regular conversations testing coaching questions just to see if you can get out of it a little bit sooner because you got to move the other person along? Coach, please. Months late, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm rolling along well.
Nice, nice. I'm loving the shirt you're wearing today. It's very
This is my
spring.
this is my bright red shirt for my kanrake next week because I hit 60, and there's an entire Japanese tradition around those who reach 60 have reached their kanrake. Their previous life is over, and now their life is about dedication to what are they going to accomplish with what's left. So
Ooh,
very much
very.
in my fire horse closure for this
I
round of life.
love it. Okay, I want to see you in that color every day now, every time we meet.
Okay.
For this part of your
I'll buy
life.
more Chiefs gear. I'll buy more Chiefs gear.
All right, so today we're going to talk a little bit about a story I found myself in, and I did something that probably coaches are not supposed to do, but I'm going to admit to this. And do we ever run little experiments during a coaching conversation? I mean, a non-coaching conversation, but as a coach. So I was on the phone. I'm not going to say who it was with, but I was on the phone with somebody very close to me last weekend. And they were venting about their life. They were venting about their child's life. They were using words like, she never does this, she never does that, she'll never change, this is just how she is. I've tried everything. So, it was like, okay, this is very negative, very absolute, very critical. And I kind of got to the point after about 35, 40 minutes, I just don't know if I really want to continue taking this energy on. So I had a couple of options. I could have just been like, hey, I got to go. And then there was a moment that I thought, okay, this is a really great, this could be a really great coaching test for myself. Like, is there a question that maybe I could ask that could break the loop or the pattern? And so I'm just sitting there thinking, like, okay, do I just say I gotta go, I gotta get off and be dismissive, or, could I say, what are we making this mean for you? Because the focus was not on her at all. Like, I asked how she was doing, and it was just for 30 minutes all about children. And clearly she needed a vent, and we're close. But I did. I admit I was guilty of sitting in this moment going, is there a tool from my coaching toolbox that I could bring into this moment and somehow use, not to enlighten her, but to move this conversation into a different direction, or to move it, just to move it out
Okay.
of this negativity that it's in. So I'm just curious. I mean, are other coaches doing this? Is this really bad? And, I got to say, at the end of this, I didn't use any coaching tools. I didn't use any, but when I hung up the phone, I thought even harder. And I kind of thought, I wish I had, because A, it could have been good practice for me, and B, it could have gotten me out of that situation, into another conversation maybe that we could have both had that was enjoyable.
And it's funny because right in this moment, I'm inclined to bring a coaching tool in and ask you about it from a coaching perspective rather than just have a conversation. So it's really fascinating. That's even where I'm sitting right at the moment.
Wow. Well, I want to hear both. I want to hear the conversation and how would you be talking to me as a coach right now, bringing in your coaching tool?
So from the coaching side, so I heard you say your discomfort with the situation, you feeling it heavy, all of it, and wanting to step out, like after a half an hour or so, wanting to be out of it and wondering if there's a way to shift it. So my question would be is what was the energy you were sensing that you were making meaning? And how was your discomfort with that actually creating the situation for you wanting to be a coach to get out of it?
Ooh, that's good. So basically, the question I was trying to find for her, I should have been using on myself.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That is
Because the
so good.
discomfort's ours, not theirs. They can be sharing the discomfort. They could be in it too, but that's their story. Why are we getting caught? And we can feel it. That's empathy.
Yeah. But that's,
But if we get
yes.
drawn in to solve it, it's sympathy.
But even I wasn't trying to solve it.
I know.
I could just feel this heaviness and negativity and this fixed mindset. And it was just like, this is not the conversation I want to be having at seven, Saturday at 10 in the morning. Like, it wasn't what I was wanting. And I don't know. For me, the easiest route is to be like, hey, I've got another call coming in. Let me call you back to break the pattern. But then I thought, okay, as a human being, there's got to be other ways to try to maybe move this conversation out into something else, maybe.
And outside of a coaching session, maybe the question is, what do you need from me right now? What do you want from me? And ask them, um, do they need us to be that friend? Or do they, yeah, I know you do this other thing. I know you do the code. It's like, can you ask me some questions to help? Then they open the door that we can do it.
Yeah.
And
The
that
sad
we
thing
never
in this,
coach certain, we never coach within a certain circle of relationship though.
yeah.
So
But the
there's
situation with
that.
this was this person thought they were just catching up with me, but
Mhm.
their catch up with me was all these things going on with their children, that they didn't want anything from me. They just wanted to vent. But I don't think they
Mhm.
realized how negative and heavy it was because they're in it and that's all they do all day long, probably.
Mhm. And so maybe the coaching tool here is to not be attached to it for us. Their stuff can be heavy for them. Now I just have a weightlifter picture in my head. Like there's the person who can lift a ton of weight, and there's all the other people who can't. We their load is not our load, and it's
Yeah.
not ours to take on. And because of certain levels of relationship or closeness of relationship, do we feel drawn in that we have to or we're responsible to it for some reason? When really the coaching tool here is not for them, it's for us. Step back and let it go because it's not yours to get caught up in.
Very true, very true. And on that note, would you say that you ever run experiments on conversations to
Who me?
practice?
Who me? Tell me more about that
Yeah.
question. Help me understand it. I'm sure I do. I am sure I do.
I mean, I think
No
it's hard
doubt.
that once you understand how conversations shape thinking, which is all part of being in the session, I think um, it's hard not to test it in real life.
Mhm. Oh, totally. Because that's also a honing of our craft and finding out where it's appropriate, where it's not, and how a question or a silence or something else can shift a conversation so quickly. And again, I keep coming back to when unless the person we're in casual conversation asks, we don't put on that mask of role. That's our role as a coach. It's the thing we do. It's not who we are. That person's looking for us as the friend, as the acquaintance, as the family member, as the person they know through years of connection, not through the lens of what we've learned to do as our craft.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
they
I think
want that, they'll ask for it.
yeah, sure. I mean, I think most people want connection, not insight, right? So something for us to remember. But have you ever found yourself in a situation, a conversation you don't want to be in, and it's like maybe there's a coaching tool that will help me get out of this conversation, not to help them, but really honestly to help you get out of it.
Yeah, wait, my Zoom connection's bad. Yeah, it if I don't want to be in that conversation, I will find a way out one way or the other. I do not want to be in it. If there's no point in being there for either of us. If you want to share, my parents would say let it roll off you like duck off, like water off of a duck's back. And I never quite understood what that meant until very recently. And it's not mine. Like if you want to vent and let go of some of the heaviness, go ahead and dump it because you feel safe enough to dump it with me, or dump it in the front yard. But you're going to take your trash with you when you leave. It's not mine to pick up and put somewhere. And
Yeah.
that I think that's the container more than anything. And oh yeah, have I jumped into conversations and looked for tools and tried to help somebody who didn't want the help in that moment? Oh yeah, and that's how I learned not to do it.
Well, what about just help yourself? Like for me in that moment with that friend or that person, I wasn't looking to help them. I was like, how do I could either just get off the phone, but that's the easy way out. Or is there a
Mhm.
tool that I have that could just help me get out of this conversation with them and move to another part? It's kind of like that episode we did when Why does everybody tell you the worst part about their story first?
Hmm. Hmm.
And so it's like, oh, now my question might be, what was your favorite part of your trip? Not tell me about your trip because like I don't want to hear about the boring parts of it. But in this scenario, yeah, it's like I didn't have the feeling to want to help her. I was just like, how do I get out? Like, how do I get her to move on to something else to talk about? Because like I do not want to talk about this anymore.
Hmm. And that's where we go back to what we talked about, the pendulum in the previous episode. That's where we go back to listening and being like everybody else around them in our lives as a normal human being that says, what about the weather today? Just abruptly change the topic, which is what we're trained not to do as a coach.
Yeah.
We're not sitting in a coaching relationship. So if you're feeling the heaviness from that side, sitting as a casual human being in a casual conversation, and you don't want to be talking about that. Did you see the game last night? Did you watch whatever episode? Oh, we just finished binge watching. It was a really great series.
Okay, and then let's say they keep going. They're like, "Oh, great." And then they're so focused on what they're I think that's when I just say, "I gotta go. Let me call you back."
Pretty much. Yeah.
But I love that idea. We forget as coaches that we can bring the tools back into our life that we aren't allowed to use in coaching, which
Yeah.
is we can interrupt, we can change the subject on the spot, we can bottom line. Not that you can't bottom line in a session, but yeah, we could. I know some people who take a long time to get to the point of their story. And when I'm not in a coaching session, I may just be like, can you just get to the point that you're trying to make with me? Remembering that we can bring some of those tools that aren't great for coaching into our everyday life. And I think sometimes that's hard to do when you've been trying to not do those things in
Yeah.
session. You forget, wait, I don't have to sit here and keep listening to this go on and on.
And maybe the opposite that's hitting me now is where a coach would sit there and say, tell me more about that. The casual friends, the person who has a relationship with them, particularly if they've heard the story over and over, or it's really cycling now, would just say, will you get over it already? That's a pattern interrupt too. That might end the conversation very quickly.
Yes, yes. So I think here what our learning lesson is one, the skill isn't turning the coaching instinct on, it's knowing when to leave it off. And we can bring tools we don't use in coaching back into our everyday life with people. That is okay to do.
Different rules apply different measures. Hey, see you in another week. Be well.
See you next season. Episode.